right? Oh my God, your story's so interesting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's some things I left out. I don't have to tell you guys everything, obviously. Like there was two black people who I knew in Montreal. Sometimes we used to go to their house too, and we watch. I used to watch Disney movies at their house, like Hercules and Pocahontas and all that stuff. Anastasia, you know what I'm saying? I used to watch that. I remember that. And yeah, those two little black kids, we used to hang out with them too, obviously. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I lived in that apartment in Hull, the one guy who used to come to our house, obviously, he was my stepbrother's best friend, obviously, we became family friends with their family. When I went to his house, I thought they were rich because we lived in this shitty apartment in Hull, obviously. Like, holy shit, these guys are pretty rich. They live in a nice house, man. A nice townhouse in Plateau, in Hull, Quebec, obviously. A nice fucking house, obviously. You know, like, holy shit, these guys have money. They had a nice house, obviously. And we lived in this shitty apartment in Hull. And the whole time I found with the gatekeepers, easily move into a nice house. Because they hate me so much, the only reason why we live in this shitty apartment is we hate Ivan. We don't want Ivan to be a part of our lavish life. Yeah, that's the reason why the stepfamilies live in this shitty apartment hall. But I guarantee you, behind the scenes, they would go to their they obviously own nice condos and nice hotels and all that stuff around the world. Behind the scenes, they obviously stay at their they chill in their nice condo and all that stuff when I'm not looking, obviously. Because they're fucking evil, man. They hate me that much. They hate me that much, yeah. The stepfamilies have a huge hatred for me, obviously. Just like VJ's family obviously has a huge hatred for VJ, obviously. The stepfamilies don't love me and wife, man. They hate us so much. Hence why they're willing to do this to us, because they hate us, obviously. They can't stand us. Because of their envy, obviously. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And my step-parents were working for the government. They were working for the government, obviously, acting, obviously. They're working for the government. And I remember, like, late towards, halfway through the year, when we lived in that hall, we went house shopping. And we hired real estate agents. We went to all these houses in Elmer, obviously. I remember there were some houses that were really, really nice, better than even a nicer house than even the house I lived in now. And my step-parents like, it's too expensive. We can't live here, you know what I'm saying? When they could have easily afforded it, obviously. There were some nice houses with like an outdoor pool that my step-parents could have bought. And if they ended up buying this house is nice, obviously, I lived in, but they could have even bought a better house. I remember we went house shopping, and we went house shopping. We went to this house, and my stepfather was like, this is my house. This is my house. And we bought the house, obviously. And we moved into this house in 2001. I remember when we moved into the house, I was so excited. The house with a pool, too. We had an above-ground pool. We didn't have an in-ground pool. We had an above-ground pool. You know those above-ground pools, a circle of above-ground pools? We had a nice pool here in our backyard. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. We were going to be living in a house. I remember when I came here, I was so excited. We moved into the house in 2001, obviously. I was so excited to live in the house, obviously. I was very excited to live in the house, obviously. And, yeah, man, I was very excited to live in the house. And, yeah, I was very excited to live in the house. And, I was very excited to live in the house. And, I was very excited to live in the house. And I was so happy and excited. I was able to move into this house, obviously. And, yeah. So when I was 9 years old, we moved into this house, obviously. I remember the first day my stepfamily, they bought McDonald's for me and for us, obviously. And like within the next couple of days, we went swimming a lot in his house. A lot of good moments going swimming, obviously. With the family that came over, they came over to our house. They went swimming a lot of times. And that one guy who settled over at my house, he went swimming a lot of times at our house, obviously. I remember the family, who are our family friends. They came over. They gave a tour. Hey, this is Ivan's house. They gave a tour of the house, and they're like, "Oh, Ivan, this is a nice house, obviously." Yet the whole time I knew my family, the gatekeepers, and they could have easily bought a better house than this house. Like you don't like it's what you they could have easily bought a better house than this house, and they bought this house, obviously. But the house I live in is a nice house, obviously. But for someone who's a gatekeeper, this is the ghetto. This is a shitty house, obviously. You see what I'm saying here? This is for someone who's a gatekeeper, this is a shitty house. It's a shitty house, man. For someone who's a gatekeeper. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah. Yeah, I remember there was one guy who was our neighbor. He became our friends. He became our friend. Obviously, we went swimming with him a lot. We went swimming a lot in my house. We went to his house a few times. We became pretty good friends. We used to bother these guys and one of our neighbors in our streets. When we were young, yeah. And I went to St. Mark's in grade four. This is 2002. I went to St. Mark's in grade four. And this is where I met a few guys in Darcy, obviously. I became friends with one guy. I remember he introduced himself to me. He's like, are you related to this guy? I'm like, no. You know who you are. I remember he met me in grade four. I met him in grade four, obviously. You know who you are in grade four, obviously. And I also became friends with these other guys in grade four. I hung out with these other guys in grade four. You guys know who you are. Yeah, I remember when I hung out with guys in grade four. Yeah, I hung out with those guys in grade four. Obviously, they were just my grade four friends. After grade five, they're just my grade four friends. And in grade five, I hung out with this other guy. There was this new guy who was new at school at Darcy, new at St. Mark's. And I hung out with him. I slept over his house. Me and him pretty much were best friends. In grade five, we're good friends. And he invited me over to his house for what? For what? For his birthday, you know what I'm saying? We played games all night long. That was when I first saw the first Matrix at his house. And that's what led me to see Reloaded and Revolutions on theaters. Yeah, that was when I first saw the Matrix. I stay up all night, I'm like, oh my god, this movie looks sick, the Matrix, I'm saying. Yeah, so in grade four, I went to St. Mark's, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And my teacher, in grade four, I did pretty good in school. My teacher's like, yeah, Ivan's a good student, but he's just disorganized. And I remember my parents kept putting me down throughout my whole life. Oh, Ivan, make sure you do your homework, do good in school. And the whole time they locked the doors on me. Throughout my whole life, my step-parents always kept sitting me down and putting me down, man. Telling me to take school seriously. Ivan, school is not a joke. Take school seriously. Do good with your life. And the whole time they lock the doors on me. That's how you know how wicked they really are, man. They're fucking devils, man. They're fucking wicked people, man. There's a reason why in the Bible it says Satan disguised himself as an angel of light. Because the step-families are beyond wicked, man. They're wicked people, man. You tell me throughout my whole life to take school seriously and do good with my life. And all of a sudden when I go to Harris, I put in the work. You lock the doors on me, they sabotage my marks. Yeah, they're fucking wicked people, man. Yeah. Obviously, right? Grade four. Obviously, there was this other guy. He's like a family friend of ours too. We went up to his house a few times. He was in St. Mark's too. Obviously, he was in St. Mark's too. And yeah, I remember him in St. Mark's, obviously. In St. Mark's. Obviously. And Elm Elementary was right next to St. Mark's. So St. Mark's is right here, and Elm Elementary was right next to St. Mark's. Obviously. And in grade five, I met this, grade five. My grade five teacher was very, very nice. And grade five, I did good in school. In grade five. Grade five was the 1 year where I didn't actually slack off. I actually did pretty good in school. Even my grade five teacher told me, "Yeah, Ivan, if you worked a bit harder in school, you would have been you wouldn't have been in an advanced program in grade six. Because in grade six, there was one class where like the smart people, they were in that class. And he's like, yeah, Ivan, you would have been in this class had you worked a little bit harder. That's how you know I'm not stupid. I'm pretty smart. I'm saying. She told me that. Yeah, Ivan, you're pretty smart. You're a pretty smart student. Had you just worked a little bit harder, you would have been in that advanced class in grade six. Yeah, in Alvin Elementary. You know what I'm saying? She told me that, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. My grade five teacher was very polite. She used to always buy all these like desserts and food and all stuff, and the class would eat. We did this thing where everyone in the class, they bring food, and everyone eats food in the class and all that stuff, and she's pretty chill, obviously. I became friends with one guy in grade five. He came over to my birthday, obviously. My stepbrother's best friend, his younger brother, came over to my birthday in grade five, obviously. We had a good time. We had like hot dogs and like chips and that kind of stuff for my birthday in grade five, obviously. Yeah, that guy, I was friends with him in grade five, that's it. After grade five, we weren't really friends. I became friends with that one guy who was new at school. I met him, and me and him just became good friends. He invited me over to his birthday. He invited that other guy who I met in grade four over to his birthday too. And that guy was a pretty good friend of mine. He was a pretty good friend of mine. Obviously. Yeah. Obviously. And in grade 5, you know what I'm saying, I told you, throughout my whole, grade 5, my parents kept putting me down. I didn't do good in school, be serious. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I picked up the Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring book, and that's when I read Fellowship of the Ring for the first time. And I also remember I saw seeing Fellowship of the Ring on theaters with that family. That family invited me and my brothers, my stepbrothers, to the theaters, and we saw the Fellowship of the Ring for the first time. And I'm not kidding around. The Fellowship of the Ring was the best movie experience I ever had in my life. When I saw that movie, I was fucking scared, man. Because I was 8 years old, I was 9 years old, I'd never seen a horror movie before. And when I saw Fellowship for the first time, the orcs were fucking scary. I'm like, holy shit, this is scary. It was the best movie experience of my life, man. Better than my movie experience of Return of the King and all this. Fellowship of the Ring was the best movie experience of my life I ever experienced on theaters. And I was fucking spooked because the orcs were fucking scary. Because why were you scared? Because I've never seen a horror movie before. I was 9 years old too. That's why I thought it was so scary. I remember my grade 5 birthday, that one friend of mine, who was my friend in grade 5, he bought me the Lord of the Rings VHS collection. On VHS, he bought me it for my birthday. I used to watch Lord of the Rings every day. I'm like, holy shit, this is scary. I used to watch Lord of the Rings every day. He bought me the special edition VHS version for me. His mother bought it for me, yeah. That was nice of him, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. This is when I was still a fat kid in grade 5, obviously. Grade 5, I was a fat kid, you know what I'm saying? I was a fat kid in grade 5. Obviously. Did you have a lot of friends? I didn't have much friends in primary school. I had that one guy who I met. He was my friend. He invited me to his birthday party a few times. I invited him to my birthday party a few times. That one other guy who was new at school, he was a good friend of mine too. Obviously, I was also a friend with another guy too. The other guys were like not bad friend of mine. They were not bad friends. When I was in grade 5, I invited them to they were not bad friends, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But I invited a lot of people to my birthday, obviously. And then grade 6 came. And in grade 6, the school system changed. St. Mark's, all the people from kindergarten to grade 3, all the people from kindergarten to grade 3 go to St. Mark's, and all the people who are in grade 4 to grade 6 go to Elm Elementary. It's all the kids who were in St. Mark's all transferred to what? To Elmer Elementary in grade 6, obviously. I didn't want to go to Elm Elementary. I'm like, I don't want to go to Elementary. I like St. Mark's. But the school system changed, and Elm Elementary is grade 4 to grade 6, and St. Mark's is now grade kindergarten to grade 3, obviously. And they changed the whole school curriculum. So in grade 6, all the guys who I knew who were in my class, obviously, they all transferred to Elm Elementary in grade 6, obviously. Grade 6. And I ended up going to Elm Elementary. Yeah, that's why I ended up going to Elm Elementary, obviously. Elm Elementary, obviously. Obviously. And during my time when I was in grade 4, grade 5, I hung out with a few guys. I played basketball. You know what I'm saying? I played basketball, touch football, that kind of stuff. I used to have my bike. I used to go to the dollar store and get like chips and candy. Back then, my step-parents gave me a shitty allowance, like a $5 allowance every week or something like that. And I'd go to the dollar store, I'd get chips. You know what I'm saying? Chips, candy, all that stuff. Yeah, and again, this is when I was lost, when I didn't know I was God. I didn't know I had a white vision because I was completely lost. And all those guys, because all those guys who I went to school with at St. Mark's, they all went to Darcy with me, obviously. So I went to Darcy with all those guys. And all those guys knew I had a wife, and knew I was lost, and knew my family was gatekeepers, and none of them even bothered to tell me, man. Yeah. So in grade 6, I transferred to Elm Elementary. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? And that was where That was where, you know what I'm saying? And that was where I met the one guy who became my best friend, obviously. I met him, he became my best friend. See what I'm saying? He became my best friend, obviously. And I also was good friends with that other guy who I met in grade 5. He was like, me and him I hung out with him a lot, and I hung out with the other guy a lot too. I also became friends with another guy too. Another guy too. I slept over at his house in grade 6. He was just a grade 6 friend of mine, but I was good friends with him in grade 6 too. I hung out with him a few times, obviously. And I remember when I came to school in grade 6, I remember I met this one guy. He didn't live too far away from me. I remember he kept staring at me, you know what I'm saying? He kept giving me this weird stare, you know what I'm saying? I think I remember one time he's like, nice shoes. He told me like nice shoes out of the blue, you know what I'm saying? He kept staring at me, you know what I'm saying? You know who you are. The reason why some people were staring at me because like, holy shit, Ivan is the son of God. Ivan created this guy is the guy who created the whole universe. Yeah. And that's why some people they kept staring at me because they knew I was the son of God, obviously. Holy shit, this kid Ivan, he's the creator of the universe. He created everything. He created us, created the universe. Yeah. That's why that guy kept giving me this weird stare, obviously. Again, all these guys who I met in St. Mark's and Darcy, most of those guys, I all grew up with them in Darcy. They all went to Darcy, obviously, right? I remember there was this one man teacher. He was my grade 6 teacher in the beginning of the school year, obviously, but the class hated him. The grade 6 class hated. It was so bad. My class hated that teacher so much. The school ended up firing him, and they ended up switching. He ended up quitting, I think. Because the students were so bad. The students, like my class was like the worst class out of all the grade 6 classes. It was a bad class, man. Students not listening to teachers, yeah, it was bad, man. It was so bad that teacher got fired or he quit, and they had to hire a new teacher. And when that teacher, even though my students in my class didn't like that teacher was a chill teacher. He was a lot more chill than that other teacher. That new teacher who came in, she fucking hated me, man. She hated my guts, man. She fucking hated me, man. Now, one teacher, he was a teacher in my class, obviously, in grade 6. He ends up quitting the job because the class hated him so much. It was so bad. Oh, it was so bad that the teacher quit the job, man. He quit, and they brought in this new teacher. And that new teacher, that one teacher liked me, obviously. He supposedly liked me. They're all part of the Poverty Texas ON. But that one grade 6 teacher, she did not like me at all, man. She hated me, man. And you know who you are. You did not like me, man. She fucking hated me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And don't forget, throughout this time, I didn't know I was God. I didn't know I had a wife. And grade 6 is when I started to mature. I started to mature a lot. Like in grade 5, grade 4, I was like a fat kid. You know what I'm saying? I was like a fat kid and all that stuff. And in grade 6, I started to mature a lot. No, that's when I started. Yeah, when did you start to mature? Grade 6 is when I started to mature a little bit. I started to look a bit more handsome, and I started to mature a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Started to mature a little bit, obviously. Did you like anyone in grade 6? No, not really. I didn't really like anyone in grade 6. But I know some of the women like me, obviously, because I'm white, obviously. Secretly, they all like me, obviously, because I'm white, obviously. And I remember in grade 6, that one teacher, she's like, okay, I'm going to be your new teacher now. I'm like, where's the other teacher? You know, saying, oh, the other teacher quit. And she's like, I'm going to be your new teacher. And she was my new teacher, obviously. And man, that teacher did not like me. She hated my guts, man. She fucking hated me, man. She hated me. In grade 6, I didn't do that good in school. I didn't do that great. I passed, but I didn't do that great in school, obviously. And that teacher, I'll tell you my story. There was one time when I accidentally spat on the ground, and she's like, clean it up. The girl's like, ew, he spit on the ground. I'm saying, teacher, he spit on the ground. And she came in. She's like, what do you think you're doing? She's like, clean it up. She's like yelling at me. I took the napkin, I cleaned it up. I'm like, it was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. She's like, clean it up. She's like, you filthy, filthy, filthy human being. She was yelling at me like hardcore. Even my friend, this guy was my best friend at the time. I was my so-called best friend at the time. Even he's like, holy shit, man. She went overboard on you, man. Even he felt bad for me. He's like, holy shit, man. Ivan, you okay, man? Some people in my class are like, Ivan, you okay, man? She went a bit over on you and I cried, man. Because she fucking yelled at me like crazy. It's like, you filthy, filthy, filthy human being. How dare you do something like that? She's like, yelling at me. I'm like, it was an accident. Like, I don't care. You're a filthy, filthy, filthy human being. She's like yelling at me, and everyone in the hallway is like staring, like, holy shit, she's just crazy. She's yelling at me, yeah, man, for accidentally spitting on the ground, yeah, man. She yelled at me, obviously. And yeah, and I cried, man. I was a 12-year-old young kid, and I fucking cried. I'm like, what the fuck? And I cried tears. And you know who you are. I remember what you did to me. You're not going to be saved. You're going to be left behind when I'm king of ice cream with me, and you guys you fucking deserve, obviously. Yeah. I remember there was this one chick, she sat right across from me in class, obviously. She called me this name, this harmful name, and I called the name back. And that teacher heard it. I'm like, you heard what the woman said. She started it. She called me this harmful name, and I called her name back, and the teacher picked on me. And she ended up setting up a meeting with my stepfather. It was me, my stepfather, and I believe the principal, the guidance counselor, something like that, and my teacher. We had this meeting early in the morning, obviously, The teacher's like, yeah, Ivan has been very bad in class. He called this woman his name. Also, I'm like, she fucking started. I'm saying, it's like Ivan called this woman, excuse me. He called me this word. You tell the teacher she had that smirk on her face. Yeah, I got you, Ivan. Fucking evil. And my stepfather was yelling at me in the office, like yelling at me, man. When I mean yelling at me, like yelling at me hardcore. So what is the matter with you? He's like yelling at me. He's like yelling at me in the office, and I cried, man. And that the whole time, that teacher, she knew my stepfather were the gatekeepers. She knew the doors were locked. That's how wicked this world is, man. Fucking wicked people. Hence why once I pay his fee, I'm gonna have that flashback of my life, of what I went through in my life when my stepfather yelled at me. All the times my stepfather yelled at me when that way the teacher treated me. My man, that girl started, man. You heard her. She called me the name first, and you picked on me because that step teacher hates me, obviously. She hated my guts, obviously, because she was envious, obviously. She saw the future. Yeah, I don't know. In a good 18 years, Ivan O'Mara is gonna be king. His wife queen with him. He's gonna be the multi-billionaire living a life, and she'll be making what, $40,000 a year. She'll be left behind. Yeah, that's why this teacher treated that. Right? Out of all my teachers throughout my life, my grade 6 teacher hated my guts the most. Who was the teacher who put you down the most? My grade 6 teacher, man. My grade 6 teacher did not like me, man. She fucking hated me, man. She fucking hated me. As well as that one heritage teacher. That one heritage teacher, you know who you are. He did not like me either. I remember one time he told me, he's like, Ivan, why did you decide to take this program? He just said that out of the blue. I'm like, that's so rude. Why would you say something like that? That one teacher did not like me either. He hated me, man. But that grade 6 teacher, she hated my guts. She hated me a lot. Well, the heritage teacher didn't really hate me that much, but he put me down a little bit. My grade 6 teacher, she hated my guts, man. She hated my guts, I'm saying. Yeah. I remember graduation came. I didn't go to my grade 6. I never went to any of my graduations. I always skipped my graduations. I remember I did go to my grade 6 graduation. I did. I remember grade 6 graduation happened. I went to my graduation, obviously. And I was getting ready, and I was so excited. Oh my god, I'm done grade 6. I'm gonna be what? I'm gonna be in junior high now. I was excited. I wonder what it's like to be in junior high. Grade 7, obviously. Grade 6, and this is late 2004, summer of 2004. Grade 6 ended, obviously, and I was getting ready to go to Sims Junior High. So Sims, Darcy McGee is like, and Sims Junior High is like the same building, but Sims is for grade 7 to 8, and Darcy's for grade 9 to grade 11. So it's two schools joined into one building, obviously. Yeah. And that was how the guy I met in grade 6, he became my best friend pretty much. Obviously, as well as that other guy, right? That other guy I met in grade 5, he was a good friend of mine too. Obviously. And I remember it was summertime of 2004, and my step-parents we had this meeting. Ivan, come upstairs, we want to talk to you. You know, so they always kept putting me down. Hey, Ivan, by the way, you're going to be in special class. They're going to put you in special class in grade 7. I'm like, what special class? Like, it's for people who are not smart enough to take a regular program and all stuff. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm not stupid. I can pass the regular program. No, Ivan, they're gonna put you in special class because that grade 6 teacher, she told Sims that I wasn't smart enough for the regular program because she fucking hated my guts, man. Yo, Ivan's not smart enough for the regular program. Put him in special class for retards because that teacher hated my guts, man. And I proved her wrong. I passed what? I finished my high school and I got better marks than even a lot of guys in Darcy, man. That's how you know I'm a pretty smart person. Yeah, I got better marks than a lot of the guys in Darcy for history and English, man. And so I shut that teacher up for good, obviously. Ivan's not smart enough for the regular program. I remember in grade 6, they put me in this retard class. So all my so-called friends, they're all in the regular program, and I was in special class. I was in retard class. They put me in retard class in grade 7, obviously. In grade 7, I hung out with that one guy who's my best friend, obviously, and I hung out with this other guy. You know who you are. It was pretty much me, and those two guys were like my best friends in grade 7. I hung out with them we hung out with them like every week. I used to go to my best friend's house every week. I eat there, watch movies, slept over there 30 times, you know what I'm saying, play games on computer, all that stuff. Hung out with him. You know what I'm saying? He came over to my house a few times. He came over for my birthday. I came over to his house for his birthday, you know what I'm saying, in grade 7. I hung out with this other guy. This other guy was new to the school. Me and him became tight, and I also became tight with me and my best friend were tight, obviously. And we hung out together. I also hung out with that other guy. You know who you are. I hung out with him. The guy who I met in grade 4, I hung out with him a few times. I hung out with him. I slept over at his house a few times, obviously. I went swimming with him, you know what I'm saying? I remember one time, he liked this girl, and he was going to hang out with a bunch of girls. He called me up. He said, hey, Ivan. He's like I need you to hang out with me, man. There's a bunch of women who want to hang out with me and all stuff. I remember I hung out. It was just me and him and like 10 women. We hung out with these 10 women, obviously. I ended up having a crush on one of the women, obviously. I ended up having a crush on one of the women. And it was me, the guy, we hung out with all these like 10 women. I remember that in grade 7. You know who you are. You remember that. Yeah, I remember those moments. Yeah. Obviously, I ended up having a crush on one of those women too. Back in grade 7, obviously. I had a crush on them. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? They obviously were interested in me too because of why, obviously. all the women in Darcy were interested in Ivan because Ivan's the son of God. Ivan's why. And when I was in grade 7, I was a pretty handsome man. By that time, I was handsome. I had my nice fro. I wasn't this fat kid anymore. I was handsome. I had my fro. You know what I'm saying? I had these nice clothes that I had. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I ended up liking one of these girls, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, in grade 7, obviously. And in grade 7, I was in special class for retards, obviously. I played football in grade 7. I was pretty good. Obviously, I played football. I played basketball in grade 7 for the school. I played basketball. I was not bad. I remember one time we played basketball. Here's the basketball net. I was on the side. I did this like alley-oop. I did this fadeaway. Like a blind shot. I just turned. I looked back. I shot and swish. That was nice, man. You know what I'm saying? I had some good basketball moments. You guys all know what I'm talking about. All the people who were on my basketball team. You guys all remember that. Yeah, I remember when Ivan did that nice move. Swish, blind shot, swish. Yeah, that was nice. I'm pretty good at basketball. I'm not bad. I'm not bad at basketball. I'm good at football. But I come from my whole family. They're all naturally gifted football players. Like my stepbrother played football. Obviously, he's an amazing football player. Obviously, my stepbrother was a receiver, amazing receiver. He wasn't that great at O-line and D-line, but as a receiver, he was fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. They all killed the league, obviously. We're talented sport athletes, obviously, but I was pretty good at basketball. I was good at football. I was pretty good at soccer too. I'm pretty good at soccer too. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty good at street hockey. I don't know how to skate, but street hockey I'm pretty good. I know how to. I know how to. You guys all saw my hockey video. I know how to spark some moves. Yeah, man. Yeah. Obviously, I remember in grade 7 I played basketball. Obviously, there was this one teacher. You know what I'm saying? He drove us to he drove us to the game. We listened to some nice music in his car and all stuff. I remember I played basketball at Sims. Yeah, I remember him. It's funny because that one guy was like 23 at the time. I remember I saw him a couple years ago in the mall. You saw how old he is. Now he's like 40 years old. It's fucking weird, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I played football in grade 7 for Sims. D-line, obviously, and I played basketball for Sims 2. Obviously. And yeah. And I was in special class, and that one teacher in special class, she hated my guts. You know who you are. She did not like me at all. She always yelled at me and all stuff. The one lady who's a special class teacher, she yelled at me badly one time. Because I'll tell you this embarrassing story. Because one time I was with this guy. Obviously, and I was with this guy who was in my special class. He was looking at porn. I'm like, hey, don't look at porn, man. It's not good. The teacher will catch you, obviously. He's like, no. He's like, let's look at porn. And I went on the site. I looked at the picture. I'm like, oh shit, the teacher's coming. I tried to exit the picture. I tried to delete the picture, obviously. To exit you know how you press the X button and you exit the site. The computer was frozen. The teacher came. She caught me. She's like, get out. She's like, get out now. She was so young. I got sent to the principal's office, and then the principal was like, Ivan. The teacher lied. She, Ivan was watching porn. No, I was not watching porn. I just looked at a picture. I looked at the picture and I exited the picture. I didn't watch porn. No. I see now one teacher. He's like, Ivan. He wasn't even mad at me. The principal at the school is like, Ivan. He's like, you shouldn't be watching porn. I'm like, look, I wasn't watching. I didn't watch porn. I just looked at the site. Obviously, the reason why the teacher didn't care because he knew, yeah. Even though that one teacher sent Ivan to the principal's office for watching porn, Ivan shut us up for good, as we're gonna turn him into a porn star in like 18 years from now. Yeah, you can't say shit. That one teacher, you know who you are. You sent me to the principal's office for just looking at a porn site in class, obviously, and yet you're willing to turn a virgin man into a porn star and watch and jack off to his videos. And it's like, shut those teachers up for good. Yeah, Ivan, you're fucking innocent. Yes, I'm innocent. I'm a fucking genius. If you do this to me, I'm gonna shut you up for good. Whereby you can't say shit, man. Now, one teacher who put me in the office for I wasn't even watching porn. It was just I went on the site, you know what I'm saying, for like 2 seconds. Oh shit! And I went to the computer was frozen. Obviously, she sent me to the principal's office, and yet you guys are gonna turn this virgin man into a porn star and jack off his videos. And so I shut you up for good. I'm a fucking genius, obviously. You know, if you shut us up for good, yep, I shut you up for good. As that principal didn't even yell at me. He's just like, Ivan. He's like, you shouldn't watch porn. You know what I'm saying? You know, so he can tell you he didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He's like, Ivan, don't do that again. I'm saying, I won't do it again. I promise. I think I went to detention. I don't remember. I think I went to detention or something like that, obviously. I remember in grade 7, that was the first time. Grade 7 was the first time I ever smoked a cigar. I smoked a cigar. I remember I was hanging out with my two best friends, my best friend and the other guy, obviously, right? We had a cigar for the first time. I felt so bad. Oh my God, I'm sinning. Because I grew up as a Christian, obviously. When I tried cigarettes for the first time, I felt, oh my God, I'm sinning against God and all that stuff. That's how good of a Christian I was. And I smoked a cigar for the first time. It was so weird smoking a cigar for the first time. I remember that was the first time that guy smoked cigars too, obviously. He smoked it for the first time. It was so weird smoking a cigar for the first time, obviously. Yeah. Yeah, there's a high chance I'll be going into part 2, guys. Because I have so much that happened in my life I have to explain on. There's so much I got to talk about. There's a good chance it will extend into part 2 for tomorrow. For my video, obviously. Still have a good hour and a half left after my videos, obviously. Holy shit, Ivan, you're telling us your whole life. Yeah. I want to tell you my whole life. That way you guys get the ins. I left out a lot of details, obviously, but I want to tell you some stuff, some memories I had in my life, obviously. Let's show my camera here.